Hello everyone, this is Casual Cubing, and today we're going to be covering notation. Let's go! So I gotta say, the positive reception that I received for the first video was awesome. I think we're up to like 6 subscribers without even touching a cube yet, so today we're going to get into some notation so we can start solving. And whoosh, just like that, we are in cube mode. We have our 3x3 here ready to go. Super cool carbon fiber, if I had to say so myself. First we have our faces by color, so we have green, yellow, red, white, orange, and blue, how I'll refer to them as. And honestly, this really isn't the most important thing about learning how to solve the cube. Me personally, I typically start with green first, but you can start with any color you want. A lot of people do white first, but it's kind of a personal preference. And then there's also being color neutral, which means you can just start with any of the colors you want based on what you see at the beginning of the solve. However, we're going to be talking about the faces as they are in algorithms. And what this is holding the cube like this. We're going to have a front face here, a top face here, a right face here, left face here, bottom and back, which we won't use as much, but they're still very important. Then explain to me how that goes to this, because this looks really confusing. Yeah, so I mean each of those letters just represents the face of the cube you're going to move based on the position that I'm going to instruct on in my next video. Basically, the front, doing an F move, a front move, just means that you're turning it clockwise, just like this. For example, if this is my front face, the yellow here, and I want to do a right move, I could turn this as if the right was in the front and I just turn it clockwise. And over time I realized that this is just what a right move looks like. So that's an R move there. So that's what R is. We have an R move there, another R move, 4 R moves, and we get returned to the beginning state. Similarly, if the yellow is the front face in the solve that we're doing currently, an F move, or a front move, would just be rotating this clockwise, right? So these are just multiple F moves. A left move, if we look at this, a clockwise left would just be like that. And this is called L prime.
My name is Optimus Prime.
So when we want to make a move that's counterclockwise, we call it prime. It has a little dash next to the letter, and it just means that we're rotating the face counterclockwise instead of clockwise. So for example, this is a right move, this is an R prime move.
Optimus, no!
It's that simple. Stringing a few of these moves together will give us an algorithm. No, really, it's not that kind of algorithm. It's really a lot simpler than that. Like I showed on the paper, an algorithm is just a series of these moves strung together to have an effect. The effects of which we will talk about when we go through the guide. Yeah, one of the more difficult skills I'd say for newer cubers, and it definitely was for me, was just sometimes identifying what is a clockwise move or a counterclockwise move on a face. So up is always really easy. This is just an up move always. I'd say front is always really easy because you're just rotating it clockwise. But sometimes you can get a little bit confused on the right and left. So a counterclockwise normal right move, an R move, is just away like that. You're always just pushing it away from you. And it'll obviously be the opposite on the left, because to move it clockwise is towards you. It's also really important to note that once a side is the front and top and right and left for an algorithm, it's going to stay that for the entire algorithm, unless I say otherwise. And for the beginner's method I'm doing, there's going to be no turns like that. Sometimes I might turn it just to make the pattern easier for me, the way that I see it, but I'll definitely be explaining it as I go, and I'll put the algorithm up so that it's understandable, so that every face stays the same throughout the algorithm. With that said, I'm now going to go through the example algorithms that I had on that sheet, and for all these algorithms we're just going to have the yellow as the front face and the green as the top face. So to get started, we're going to go with one that I call the fruit algorithm, and the reason this is because the first 3 letters are FRU. So to do this, we're going to do an F move, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And that is that algorithm. So that wasn't so bad, right? 6 moves, we can handle that. Let's move on to another one that we might need. So for this example, we have the algorithm U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. So as you can see, for some algorithms like that, it's really important to make sure that you're getting your primes and normal clockwise movements correct in order to achieve the correct goal. Finally, we're going to end with one that's really short, just 4 moves, but it's very important that you get the correct direction right when you're rotating the sides. And this will be R prime, D prime, R, D. And that's it. And we're just going to do this over and over again when we solve the cube. But it's really important to just get this motion of R prime, D prime, R, D. As far as notation goes, that's pretty much it. This is 3 examples of the ones that we will be using when we solve the cube. So if you can memorize those, you're off to a good start. But obviously I'm going to go over these again in my next guide, so no need to worry. These were just examples that you could follow along, seeing what each of the moves looks like along the way. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching my notation video. This may have seemed like really basic stuff and not so important, but this is kind of the fundamentals of not only algorithms for the 3x3, but for any cube really, and how you can read the algorithms. Anyways, I would say if learning algorithms is like learning a language, learning the notation is like learning the words, learning the parts that can help you carry out these algorithms on a cube, on any cube, because every cuber that teaches this stuff will always use this notation. Anyways everyone, thanks for watching again. Go pick up your cubes, because the next video is going to be solving the Rubik's Cube using the notation that I've taught you. And with a little bit of help and luck, I think you guys will do great. Don't forget to like and hurt my feelings in the comments, and keep it casual guys.